Hello day everyone. In last class we have seen about the refraction of the light by the lenses, prism and the formation of the rainbow, dispersion of light, scattering and the optical instruments which are microscope and telescopes. What would be their magnifications? How to find the magnifying power of the microscopes or telescopes? In what type of the telescopes we have? Refracting and reflecting type telescopes. Then let me discuss about is the nature of the light, particle or a wave. If the nature of the light is particle, what properties can it explain? If the nature of the light is wave, what properties it can be explained? For that, in last topic, reactives and optical instruments, just we have seen that what will be the conditions for the light to obey particle nature, what should be the conditions for the light to obey wave nature. So that is what just in last class we have linked it to the part of the light which is a ray nature, particle nature. But clearly we discussed the wavelength of light, we know that, which is around 4000 angstrom to the 8000 angstrom. But wherever the light is incident on the surfaces, it is having a size much greater than that of the wavelength of the light. So whenever the light encounters with the subject objects which are having more wavelengths, then the light behaves as a particle, which is discussed in last topic in ray optics and optical instruments. But again, if the size of the particle is or the size of the aperture is much less than the size of the wavelength of the light, the size of the aperture is much less than that of the wavelength of the light. Is the nature of the light particle or it? Different theories are having to explain the nature of the light. Let me go to discuss the theories which are proposing the particular wave nature of the light. Thereafter, we discuss in detail about the wave nature of the light and what it can explain. If it is a wave, what will be happen when the two waves are superposed? That we have to know. In last topic, that means if the size of the aperture object is greater than the wavelength of the light, then ray optics is valid. Ray optics is valid. Ray optics is valid. Now, if the size of the object, size of aperture is less than the wavelength of the light, then the light behaves as a wave nature. But what is the importance of the wave nature of the light? What we can explain? Let us discuss in detail. But before that, which theories are proposing? Which theories are strongly describe the strongly support the wave nature of light. So here last of gray optics and optical instrument we have studied. Then here we need to study the wave optics, and this wave optics also called physical optics. Physical optics. Physical optics, which is only when the size of the aperture is much less than the wavelength. But actually, we have number of theories to explain the nature of the light. We know already that Newton, Sir Isaac Newton, who is a Dutch physicist, Newton has supported the particle nature of the light, and the light is made up of a tiny particles which are called corpuscles. 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 So that Newton corpuscular theory. Newton corpuscular theory. What is the Newton corpuscular theory? Light is made up of a tiny particles which are called corpuscles. And whenever the light is incident on a surface, whether it is refraction or reflection, now this is like a number of corpuscles, like this, the corpuscles. And again it is incident normal, again the corpuscles are reflected in optic. So that light is made of a tiny particles which are called corpuscles. Now different colors of the light are due to different size of the corpuscles. Size of the corpuscles. Size of the corpuscles cause to be different colors. Different colors. During reflection, so reflection is what? Whenever these corpuscles incident on the surface, they will be repelled by the reflecting surface. Is it? But whenever the light is incident on the surface, if the reflecting surface attracts those the corpuscles, then that is called what? Refraction. So reflection is due to the attraction of the corpuscles, repulsion of the corpuscles by the surface. Repulsion of corpuscles by surface. Whereas refraction is due to the attraction of the corpuscles by the surface. Attraction of corpuscles by the surface. But Newton explained that as you know the basic concepts. Let us take already in the last topic we have discussed that what do you mean by the rarer medium, denser medium. So what do you mean by rarer medium? The medium in which speed of light is more compared to the another. What do you mean by rarer denser medium? The speed of light in which less is called denser medium. During refraction of light, we know that the speed of light in dense medium is less than that of the speed of light in a rarer medium. But according to Newton, speed of light is more in denser medium. Speed of light is more in tensor medium than in parallel medium. But however, it was proved to be wrong after further discoveries, further inventions, further studies confirmed that the speed of light is not more intense medium than medium. So that these are the Newton corpuscular theory, but this theory failed to it can explain only the reflection and the refraction of the light, but it failed to explain about the interference, diffraction, and the polarization. So that it can explain only reflection and refraction, and refraction, but it is failed to explain about the interference, diffraction, and polarization. It failed to explain interference, diffraction, and polarization, and so on. But later, to explain the nature of the light, Christian Huygens proposed the wave nature of the light. So that we got to say Huygens wave theory. So what is Huygens wave theory? According to the Christian Huygens, the light is in the form of wave nature. Light is in the form of wave. That is it. Here it is what the particles, tiny particles. Now, in this different colors are due to the difference in wavelength. Colors are due to different wavelengths. Difference in wavelength. Colors are due to different wavelengths of the light. And from these observations, it could explain that the speed of light in dense medium is less than that of the speed of light in clear medium, which was proved to be wrong. Whatever the Newton explained, then speed of light is less in denser medium speed of light is in denser medium, and it could explain interference, diffraction, and polarization by using these wavelengths of light. Can explain reflection, refraction, interference, diffraction, polarization, interference, diffraction, polarization, and so on, but you could not explain the photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. Photoelectric cannot be explained. And even after Thomas had proved that light is having transverse nature of the light, because this polarization confirms the transverse nature of the light. Based on that one, we can explain that polarization. But thereafter, even to explain this good electric effect. Planck proposed a quantum theory. Planck quantum theory. Planck's quantum theory. So, according to this Planck's quantum theory, light is treated in the form of a particles which are called energy packets. Quanta is a energy packets. Energy packets. Which carries energy? That is the form of energy packets which carries energy forward in time. And based on this Planck's quantum theory, it could explain even photoelectric effect also successfully. Could explain photoelectric effect also successfully. And even could explain photoelectric effect. What do you mean by the photoelectric effect? We will study in the further topics that photoelectric effect is nothing but whenever the light is incident on a surface, the required amount of light is incident on a surface, then it emits certain particles which are called photons from the surface of matter. This effect is called photoelectric effect. But Planck's quantum theory is failed to explain about the polarization wavelength. And even Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory. Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory. Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory. According to this Maxwell's, he has formulated some equations which are supporting to the electron. Light is in the form of a electromagnetic wave. Light is in the form of a electromagnetic wave. So that he could explain the properties of light like reflection, refraction of the light, interference, diffraction, polarization. But by using this electromagnetic wave theory, again we cannot explain this Einstein's photoelectric effect or Crompton effects. These could not be explained. So that these are the different theories which are supporting the particle and wave nature. But thereafter also we got even de Broglie hypothesis. So de Broglie given that de Broglie hypothesis, he has given that light is having both dual and particle nature, but depends upon the instant or depend upon the condition. Sometimes the light behaves like a particle and sometimes it behaves like a wave nature. That is what dual nature of the nature. Okay, but we have limited only for the wave optics. Wave nature of the light. So let me revise that. What theories are supporting to the particle nature and what theories are supporting to the wave nature of the light? Newton's theory and Planck's quantum theory are supporting to the particle nature of the light, whereas Huygens wave theory and Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory supporting to the wave nature of the light. But here we have to discuss about the particle nature of the light. Particle nature of the light. Here, what would be the nature of the particle? So Huygens principle, Huygens wave theory explains about the wave nature of the light. By considering the Huygens wave theory, first of all, we have discussed the Huygens principle. But before to that, what is Huygens principle? Before that one, we need to know some basic concepts of the wave nature of light. What is a wave? What do you mean by the wave? What do you mean by the wave? What do you mean by wave? When do you observe this wave? What is the wave? Let us take a stone. Just to throw that stone into a pond of water. So what would be happen? What would be happen? There is some disturbance is caused in that situation. That means whenever you throw a stone into water of a pond, then there is some disturbance is created, and that disturbance causes to form a water ripples, and those ripples can be moved forward with certain speed. Now, similar as light is also in the form of a wave. That means light creates some disturbance in a medium, and when it creates disturbance, then and by creating the disturbance, it can carry energy in forward direction. Let us similar as that ripples of a water, and those ripples that is like this. At certain instant, let us take a photograph of this one. Then what we get? At that instant, the shape of the wave, or at that instant, we can get what will be the position of the particle. Then tell me, what do you mean by the phase? Phase, what do you refer to the phase? Wave represents what? A disturbance created in a medium which carries energy. Disturbance created and which carries energy in a medium, or forward energy in a medium. Carries energy in a medium. Now, what do you mean by phase? Phase represents that. Let us take on the surface of the water, we have taken a cork or a pitch blende or a thermocol sheet, paper piece. What will be happening then? And that will be moved up and down from its mean position. Like that, if you have taken two paper pieces or two thermocol sheets or two corks, and you can observe that when you have taken number of, in that case, some of the corks will be moving upward direction at the same time, and some of the corks are moving downward at the same time. Or when the players are playing, if you are jumping, long jump or high jump, whatever it may be, when they are jumping, how many members they can jump at instantly. Some person will be stamped onto this floor at some time, and some person will be stamped onto this floor at some time. But just to consider those who are stamping simultaneously, similar as that is what those all persons are in phase. Then what do we have here also? When you have taken the particles which are at same, which represents the position of the particle, direction of the particle, that is called phase reference water, which refers to the direction and position of the particle, at that instant, position on particle at that instant. Now let us discuss about this wave which we adopt to the light. Phase, and what do you mean by wave? That is what the general discussion for the wave nature of the light. Now, whenever the light passes through a medium, then it creates some disturbance in a medium so that it can transfer some energy forward in a medium, and doing so, some the particles which are vibrating in same phase. Let us take here, if we join the particles which are vibrating in the same phase, that means all those particles are having same phase difference, zero phase difference. Phase is remains constant for all those particles. That's why we call it wave front. Wave front. Now join whatever may be the particles which are moving at the same time. You join all those points. Then what do you call that one? Wave front. So what do you mean by wave front? A surface of constant phase. Surface of constant phase are the locus of the points which are vibrating in the same phase is called wave front. Locus of points vibrating in same phase. Vibrating in same phase is called wave front. Wave front. Here, let me take then how many number of wavefronts we have. Depending upon the source of the light, again we have different types of the wavefronts, which are if the light source is point source, if the source of the light is point source, the source of the light is point source. Now the wavefronts are called spherical wavefront. They produce always spherical wavefront. So spherical wavefronts can be produced by what type of the sources? Point sources. Then for the spherical wavefront, what should be the intensity? Remember once, intensity is inversely proportional to the area. Area of the spherical surface, we know what is it? Inversely proportional to the square, then 4 by r square, then intensity is directly proportional to the 1 by r square, where r represents radius. Okay, if intensity is inversely proportional to square of radius, what will be the amplitude of a wave? Amplitude of the wave, A. Amplitude of the wave is, we know already, intensity is directly proportional to the square of the amplitude. Then A is inversely proportional to R. Why? Remember, intensity is directly proportional to A square of the amplitude. Then A square is proportional to 1 by R square. Now, if the source is linear source, then we get cylindrical wavefront. Cylindrical wavefronts are obtained by the linear source or a slit. Is it? And for this, the intensity is inversely proportional to the radius of that cylinder. Therefore, the amplitude is inversely proportional to the square of the radius. And one more, let us take, we have created a disturbance in the water. So whenever the disturbance is created, then what happens? These disturbances are traveling to a long distances. At long distance, wherever it is touching, then at this point only a part of this spherical wavefront will be touches. Now a part of the wavefront at a distance, at infinity, at a large distances is called plane wavefront. Plane wavefront. So plane wavefront is what? A part of point source, and that is what? Spherical wavefront. Spherical or cylindrical wavefront at large distances. And a part of spherical wavefront at large distances. That is, can you give the example for the plane wavefront? is reaches to the surface of the earth, what type of wavefront is it? Plane wavefront or spherical wavefront? Plane wavefront. From sun, when you receive the light energy, as the distance from the sun to the earth is very large, then only a little part of the light will be reaches to the surface of the earth, then which is nothing but what is a plane wave. And intensity is constant, and even amplitude is also constant. Intensity is constant and amplitude is also constant. These are the number of different types of wavefronts and what will be the intensities and amplitudes. But let me discuss about the Huygens principle. So Huygens explained what is the purpose of these wavefronts, what they causes after a little time. So after some time, what will be the wave nature of the light when it creates some disturbance in the medium. Then let me discuss here Huygens principle. Huygens principle states that, for example, if you have taken a point source, what type of wavefronts does it produce? Spherical wavefront. Take here spherical wavefront. Spherical wavefront. Now, according to the Huygens principle, each point on the wavefront acts as a secondary wavelet, which is also called secondary wavelet or secondary source of light. Is it? Let me take here, this is one point, and this second point, and this third point. Now what does it represent? According to the Huygens principle, each point on a wavefront acts as a source of secondary disturbance. Each point on a wavefront acts as a source of secondary disturbance. Source of second disturbance is called wavelet. Wavelet, a part of the wavefront, which is nothing but wavelet. That means what? Here it is what type of wavefronts does it produce? Spherical wavefronts. When it produces spherical wavefronts, so that according to the Huygens principle, then each point on the wavefront will be act as again secondary source of the light. Then let me take here, this is with respect to this one, secondary. Here also secondary, and this is also produces spherical wave. Now, each point on the wavefront will be act as source of secondary disturbance, which travels forward in a medium with a speed of light in that medium. Which travels forward in a medium with speed of light in medium. That means what is the direction? Now, for this wavefront, secondary wavefront, you draw a tangent for this one, for this one, for this one. You draw a tangent to this one. This is one, and this is one. Now, you draw a common tangent of all the secondary wavelets. Is it okay? After a time t interval, this is what at t is equal to 0, at t is equal to t. These are the positions of the wavelets which are in the same phase. Now you join all the tangents which are vibrating in same phase after a time interval t. This is at time t is equal to 0, t is equal to t. So what you can observe here? A new wavefront is observed. A new wavefront is observed at a later time t. A new wavefront is observed at a later time t, and the speed of the wave is normal to this wavelength. Is it? This is what the wave travels forward in that medium. This is what the speed of light. Then this is what the Huygens principle. Should understand clearly that what is the purpose of using this Huygens principle. At t is equal to 0, this is what the shape of the wavefront. After t interval, what is after time t, a new wavefront is constructed by drawing a common tangent to the all the wavelets. That means Huygens principle gives the shape of the wavefront at a later time. Shape of the wavefront at a later time. So what will be the Huygens principle here? Each point on the wavefront will be act as a source of secondary wavelet or secondary disturbance. A new wavefront is obtained. A new wavefront is obtained at a later time. A new wavefront obtained at a later time. After what time we need to find the wavefront on the wavelength? By joining common tangents at a later time. You join all these common wavefronts tangents to the all the wavefronts, then you got new wavefront a dash b. If it is ab and this is what a dash b dash, new wavefront. And the wave travels forward with a speed of light in that medium. Wave travels forward with a speed equal to the speed of light in that medium. Speed of light in that medium. Speed of light in that medium. So that can you tell what will be the distance covered within that time interval t? Then the distance traveled r is equal to r, d is equal to c into t. C is the speed of light in that medium. C is what here? Speed of light in that medium. Speed of light in that medium. Speed of light in that medium. Then here what will be the radius of the spherical wavefront? C into t. This is what radius of the spherical wavefront and the distance traveled by the new wavefront, which is created after new wavefront. The distance of the new wavefront to the initial wavefront. So this is what the Huygens principle. Once again, listen clearly that what do you mean by the Huygens principle? When we have taken a point source and it produces a spherical wavefront, and each point on the spherical wavefront or each point on the wavefront act as a source of secondary disturbance. This is what the source of the secondary disturbance or source of secondary wavelets. Now, by drawing common tangents to the all the wavelets, a new wavefront is constructed after at a later time, after some time t. So that Huygens principle gives the shape of the wavefront at a later time. So importance of the Huygens principle what? Shape of the wavefront. Shape of the wavefront at a later time. So Huygens principle gives the shape of the wavefront at a later time. It gives the shape of the wavefront at a later time. Now what is the speed of this light? Which is equal to the speed of light in that medium. In what medium is the light propagating? The speed of the wave is equal to the speed of the wave in the light in that medium into the in what time we need to find the energy is carried forward in a medium. Whenever the energy carried is forward in a medium, so what will happen here? The energy will be propagated only in forward direction but not in backward direction. Here we can think that when it produces these secondary wavelets, spherical wavelets, even in back directions also, it should produce. Then in back direction also, we should get the new wavelet. Back direction also, we should get the new wavelet. But why don't we get that one? Is it? That means there is no back wave. Back wave is absence. No back wave. There is no back wave because energy can be propagated forward only but not backward direction, so that there is no existence of the backward wave. No existence of the backward wave. No backward wave is produced. No backward wave is produced. Because what is the reason? What is the reason? Energy can be propagated only in forward direction but not in backward direction, so that backward wave is not existed. Backward wave is not existed. Backward wave is not existed. See, energy propagates only in forward direction. Propagates only in forward direction. Energy propagates only in forward. So this is what the Huygens principle. Even we have what type of the wavelengths that we obtain. Let me show that spherical wavefront and plane wavefront, even cylindrical wavefront. For you can observe here, the light ray is always normal to the wavefront at that point. Now, for plane waves, we have taken plane waves. These are what? Plane waves. These plane waves. Plane waves. Now, for these plane waves, what will be the nature of the light? This is what the light ray, direction of light. Direction of light. Now these are what? For a parallel beam of light, we get what type of the waves? Plane waves. Even if you are taking F G is a plane wave front at T is equal to G. Now what you can understand already know that each point on a wave front act as a source of secondary disturbance. Then you draw a spherical wave front for this one, and for this also spherical wave front you draw, and for this also you draw the spherical wave front. Now you draw the common tangent to this one, tangent to this one, and tangent. Now join all the tangents. What happens? Now we got new wavefront. Then what is this new wavefront again? Is a plane. Then F dash G dash at T is equal to T is also what type of wavefront? Plane wavefront. That is here. Just we have seen that what fields are proposing to the particle nature of the light and wave nature of the light. And if it is supporting, you can observe only Newton corpuscular theory, Planck's quantum theory supports the particle nature of the light, whereas Huygens wave theory and electromagnetic wave theory supports the wave nature of the particle, wave nature of the light. Then the first Huygens wave theory proposed by the Christian Huygens. According to that, how can be the light can be explained by using wave nature? What we have learned just we have to know what do you mean by the wave. That is what generally we know in previous classes. And what do you mean by the phase? Thereafter, wavefront. Wavefront represents what? A surface of the constant phase of the particles is called wavefront, or locus of the particles which are in phase called the wavefront. Now, after that, just we have explained this Huygens principle. Based on that one, how can you construct the new wavefront? So, what is the purpose of using this Huygens principle? Shape of the wavefront at a later time. You can construct the shape of the wavefront at a later time. A new wavefront is constructed, and even how many types of wavefronts we have? Three types of wavefronts are there: spherical wavefront, cylindrical wavefront, and plane wavefront. What type of the sources can produce spherical wavefront, cylindrical wavefront, and plane wavefront? Spherical wavefront can be produced by using point sources. Cylindrical wavefronts can be produced by using linear sources or slits, whereas plane wavefront is a part of the spherical wavefront are linear sources which are at a cylindrical wavefront at a far distances. Let us explain about the wave nature of the light. What it could explain? It could explain the reflection and refraction and interference. Then how can it explain the reflection and refraction? So what are the laws of reflection, laws of refraction? You have to verify the laws of refraction using Huygens principle, and we verify the laws of reflection using Huygens principle in next class. So you be prepared to these topics and what will be the theories supporting this nature, and thank you.